Hey Kelly, great to see you.
How are you, Steve? Happy New Year.
Well, this is obviously exciting for me because it's the first time I've had a chance to talk to you in person since you left Cisco and joined Versa. How are things going?
Things are going great. You know, I had a nice break, spent some time with the family, traveled a bit, explored some different parts of the world.
Nice.
And thought about what I wanted to do, and I really found something that I thought was pretty compelling.
Well, it's interesting because Versa is being lumped in, I guess, in this new category of technology called SD-WAN. And there are many companies who are either implementing SD-WAN or saying that they're doing something SD-WAN-like. Do you feel comfortable being included in that group? Is that an accurate representation of what you guys are doing?
You know, I don't think it is.
Okay.
Because the SD-WAN is an important part, but we're doing a lot more. In fact, I just came back from 2 weeks of visiting customers. And every time we talk to them about what we do, they said, well, you actually do a lot more than all these other guys put together. Because what we're focused on is not just SD-WAN. It's really to help build managed services.
Right.
And redefine and transform how managed services are delivered to the enterprises through service providers. And that's our differentiation. It's not just SD-WAN, it's a whole lot more of IP services combined with SD-WAN as well.
Tell me about those services. What sort of managed services are you enabling for your customers?
Well, now, if you take a look at what enterprise is trying to do, because let's start with there and what their problem is, and then let's figure out what we do. If you take an enterprise today, they're focused on driving a few things. The first is direct access to SaaS-based offers like Office 365 and SFDC and everything from across the enterprise. So remote offices also want direct access to that. They're moving workloads to public cloud, and to be able to access public cloud, they no longer want to come through a VPN connection to the data center and then go to the internet.
Right.
And the third thing is they're trying to drive down WAN cost.
Right.
They feel that the implementation of things like guest Wi-Fi in their environments is driving a lot of bandwidth needs, which MPLS is probably a bit on a cost per bit basis a bit too high.
Right.
So they want to leverage broadband internet. So when you put these together, what an enterprise wants to do then is to be able to implement a hybrid WAN technology which allows them to dynamically choose circuit A, B, or C depending upon the application or other things, maybe SLA metrics. But they need more than that because they now have to also implement security. They have to deploy security in a much deeper way at the branch. And it's not just stateful firewall, which is a lot of what the SD-WAN vendors do. You need next-gen firewall, you need UTM, you need IPS IDS, you need antivirus, you need all of these things. Maybe even carrier-grade NAT, maybe even other things. And those are the things that we actually do to be able to enable that, not just at the branch, but also in the cloud. Because you can apply those services anywhere.
So if you weren't using a Versa platform and you wanted to do more than just basic firewalling, you're looking at multiple devices and multiple solutions, and then having to integrate those, and then having to manage those, and all of the headaches that come with sort of multi-platform integration. Is that right?
Exactly. For the enterprise, the complexity and cost inside the branch is rising because they have to take the router, take an SD-WAN device, and most of the other vendors talk about SD-WAN, but they actually sell hardware. It's hardware-delivered WAN, not software-defined WAN. Right. And then you have to add WAN optimization, next-gen firewall, or UTM. So it's a full appliance sprawl that's occurring in the branch, which is really difficult to manage and maintain. And also, change management is really difficult.
Well, we're supposed to be getting away from all of those things as well, aren't we? So, I mean, essentially, it feels a little bit to me like the approach which you've taken is to start with looking at what the customer wants and then to kind of reverse engineer exactly what they require, but also put it into a single integrated platform.
That's right.
I guess one question which the technology journalist in me would like to ask is, how have you managed to get all of this functionality built inside a startup? I mean, you're competing at some point with companies that have multi-billion-dollar R&D budgets and sometimes struggle to get features like this incorporated. What's the secret?
Well, that was my sort of wow factor when I was talking to Versa, and what compelled me to come work with them, because I was amazed at the amount of work that they'd done in building out the equivalent of multiple VNFs, packaged together into a single VNF, and doing that. It's phenomenal. The team is high caliber. They've got a GSD attitude. Just kind of focus on get shit done
Okay.
attitude. And they
We may have to bleep that out for this audience, but that's pretty good. I like
or
that.
get stuff done.
Yeah, get stuff done. Yeah.
And they really focus on delivering what's right for the customer. So they really spent the first 3 years of the company
Just
building out those
Right.
functionality and the capability.
Yeah.
And that's why part of the reason why, when people say, well, you're not an SD-WAN player or you weren't in the market early, it's because they focus on building out that foundation first.
Right.
And then they package it together to solve the customer's problem.
Right. Very, very interesting. I mean, and the essence of the product is incorporates virtualization, obviously, and virtualization is, the wave of 21st century networks. On the other virtualization technology, NFV, is having a pretty tough time actually making it from proof of concept onto live service provider networks. Does SDN virtualization or the type of virtualization that you implement suffer from the same problems?
Yeah.
What's the difference in implementation there?
Well, the first is philosophy, right? The first few years of SDN and NFV has really focused on cost optimization. SD-WAN or managed services, let's call it that, managed services, implementing SDN and NFV for managed services, there's actually a revenue attached to this. And that's what's driving the market towards this direction. And what have we done differently? Well, a lot has been done differently from ground up. Being able to have a cloud native, and that means using cloud principles in the software that you build to be able to deliver this stuff. Native multi-tenancy, integrated services, as we talked about. These are things that are very different and unique in the industry, and nobody else has done that.
So it's all about the money, really.
It's all about services for the service provider or managed services, or being able to solve the enterprise problem, and there's money attached to it.
Right. And what's the channel to market for you? It's primarily service provider rather than enterprise?
Our primary go-to-market is through service providers.
Right.
We do have enterprises that find us on our website and want to learn about our technology. And when they do, we teach them about our technology, and then we take them to our service provider partners and suggest that they work with them for delivery.
It must make you very popular with your service provider customers.
Well, this is one of the things that building a relationship and trust with these channel partners is key, and having that open dialogue about which opportunities, how to work with the service providers is key. And if we can get that done, it makes it a lot easier for us to build that trust and a long-term relationship with them.
I mean, you've just got here, and yet Versa is obviously absolutely cooking at the moment. I mean, there's so much going on here. The company's growing incredibly fast. You're having a lot of customer wins. I know a lot of those you can't talk about. What can we expect from you for the rest of 2017? This
space of transforming managed services, let's talk about that, and part of that SD-WAN, is still sort of forming. Last year, a lot of people were trying it out and figuring out what they wanted to do, if they wanted to do it. The RFP activity is picking up. People are actually getting past the POCs and getting into field trials and deployments and making money with it. So I think this is going to be the year that you can actually expect to have established customers who are now starting to deploy and ramp. But the real ramp is still a little ways away, in my view, in terms of the overall market. So the early adopter phase is sort of moving into that stage now where adoption and deployment is going to happen. And then it's going to go into a big sort of scale up in the next year. So what you can expect is more customers, more customer wins, critical and key customer wins, which will allow us to expand our footprint and then help them go into market.
You seem very happy here. Are you enjoying the new job?
I'm loving it.
Okay.
It's called, one of my colleagues that became a CEO said, being a CEO, you're living the dream. I'm living the dream right now. It's great. Every day is a new day, lots of customer activity, lots of, and it's not so much about technology, it's really about strategy and business and the combination of those three. I think the Versa team has done a fabulous job over the last few years building a great technology platform. And my focus here is to channel that through the right strategy and grow business.
Well, it seems like it's going really well, and we're excited for you, and we're excited to help tell the story this year. It's great to see you again, Kelly.
Thank you. Thank you. Same here. Appreciate it.